In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make this European long sword styled PVC sword. Let's get started. First, you have to get your materials. I got this really big long piece of PVC at Ace Hardware for about $2. I cut it up into multiple pieces, about 2 small pieces for the guard, and then a long piece for the blade, and then about like a piece that's a foot long for the handle. And then after you get your pipe, you want three of these caps to make the end of the hilt, and then the sides, or sorry, the pommel and then the sides of the hilt. And this cross piece is important because it's how you're going to connect all of the pieces together. Flattening the blade could be tedious if you don't really have the right tools. Like, I don't really have any of the right tools to do this. Like, I don't have a heat gun, but I do have a stove. And what I'm doing, I'm just using a textbook from school and a block of wood to flatten this piece out. Once it gets up to the heart, once it gets up to a softening up temperature for me to flatten it. You see how flimsy it's getting? Then just sort of step on it and make sure you get a lot of pressure on it too, and fast. This is a long sword, not a katana, so make sure you do it in segments to make sure it's flat and straight. Still hot, just run it under some cold water and that should lock it in place. Basically just rinse, lather, and repeat. Before you flatten out the whole entire thing, make sure you leave at least 2 inches at the end, because you're going to need enough space for this weird awkward space to fit into your cross coupler. Meaning whenever you flatten it, whenever you put it on your block of wood, sort of put this right up against the edge and then press down. And quote, heat quench your blade and pretend to be a real blacksmith, even though you're just making a plastic sword. I don't think the camera, okay, it's focused. Some tears like this may form in your sword. You do not want this to happen. You want the less of these, the better. On my katana video, a lot of these tears happen. You can simply just grind it out, but it's best just to let your plastic heat up the full way before you like try to shape it. After you shape the sword is pretty much done, but you could spray paint it if you want to. Now, this is the proper way to do it. First, you want to spray paint the hilt and handle black, and then let that dry. And then spray paint the blade part dry. And then after that, they're both drying, disconnect this, then spray paint the other color. I'm using Rust-Oleum American Accents flat black for the base coat. I'm using this nice metallic silver stuff for the blade part, which is, I think that's going to be pretty cool. And then optionally, you could use a clear coat to protect it. After you're done painting it, it's a smart idea to put it in a vise with some rags in there so it doesn't scratch up the sword and it could dry properly without touching anything. Here's the sword spray painted silver. I used a vice grip to actually spray paint it, and it's a good idea to use that. Then I put it in another vice grip. Now I'm just gonna let it sit overnight so it can dry. After it dried, I used a thin layer of clear coat just to protect it and stuff. And if the numbers and stuff start showing after you clear coat it, because for some reason that happened to me, just get your silver spray paint and lightly just like coat it on top. But don't redo the whole sword, just do like very light taps with it. And then while the sword is doing its thing, you can decorate the handle. I got a fabric and I just wrapped it around, and then I got this red string and I wrapped it around it into like an X shape, and then around the handle. Then I got some 5-minute epoxy and I glued on this ring, like this brass ring-like shape. I got at Ace Hardware. And then after the glue from this dries, you could attach it to the handle. Or sorry, you can attach it to the blade. After you connect these two pieces together, your sword is complete. One other thing I should probably say is that you want to put a lot of epoxy in between these two pieces so this never breaks off while you're fighting with it. And me and my friends, or my friends and I, are going to make a bunch of skits with this sword and the 3 other swords I made from the last video. And I'm sorry to ask this, but if you could share this video, that would be absolutely fantastic. Because whenever you think about it, if you just share this video with one other person, just one, my views would instantly be doubled, and that would be freaking awesome. So if you do, thanks. If you don't, thanks anyways. Thanks for watching the video. Have a great day, night, whatever. I'll see you later.